Happy Mountain Monday, friends. Today we're talking about one of the largest, rarest, and most misunderstood birds in existence, the California Condor. As one of the largest birds in North America, they are quite the sight to see. Stick around to hear a bit more about these massive birds and their impressive comeback from near extinction. So what are they? What is a condor, anyway? Although these rather hideous birds have a striking resemblance to any other vulture, they boast an impressive 9-foot plus wingspan, can weigh up to 24 pounds, and can live up to 80 years. Their crazy wingspan allows them to soar on warm rising air for up to 9 hours and approach altitudes of up to 15,000 feet. Just like other smaller vultures, these massive avians primarily eat carrion, aka dead stuff. From these crazy soaring altitudes, they are able to locate dead things to scavenge. Historically, they would eat carrion that would wash up on the coast, such as whales or other marine mammals. Now with so much of the west coast being developed, many now scavenge dead deer or cattle. These massive birds nest in large protected areas, such as a cave, large crevice in a cliff, a crevice among large rocks in a steep slope, or maybe in a burned out cavity in a large tree, such as a giant sequoia. On the bottom of a cave, adult condors may make a nest of stones, debris, or gravel. Both parents bring food for the young. Adult condors harass or chase away potential predators such as ravens, golden eagles, and large mammals from the vicinity of the nest. So where are they found? Historically, these birds would live among cliffs on the west coast of the United States, where they would wait for carrion to wash up on the shore. Being much of their habitat in Southern California is now the vastly developed metropoli of San Diego and Los Angeles, these birds were driven near extinction by the destruction of habitat and the poisoning or removal of their primary food sources. Although they were declared extinct in the wild in 1987, breeding programs have allowed for the successful re-release of some birds back into the wild, regenerating several wild populations. There are currently populations in the coastal mountains of central and southern California, northern Baja California, the Grand Canyon, and the ones you see here are from close to the border of Utah and Arizona, near Lee's Ferry. So what did conservation efforts look like? What's the history of condors and people? According to the Audubon Society, decline in numbers was already evident to observers by 1890. Early causes for population decline included shooting, and many condors died in traps or at poisoned carcasses put out to kill large predators. Recently, numbers have declined due to poisoning, including lead poisoning, shooting, and collisions with power lines. In 1965, it was estimated that about 60 condors remained. There are fewer than 25 in 1982. In the mid-1980s, all remaining wild condors were caught for captive breeding. The California Condor's comeback from extinction is one of the many amazing success stories that have come from captive breeding. The breeding program succeeded quite well in raising the numbers of captives, suggesting that it might be possible to reestablish a wild population again. By the mid-1990s, attempts were being made to introduce some of the captive-bred condors into the wild. Finally, in 2008, an important milestone was achieved. It was confirmed that there were more condors free in the wild than in captive breeding for the first time since the inception of the captive breeding program. Today, more than 300 individuals exist in the wild, and over 500 exist in the world if you count captive breeding programs. In July of 2019, the captive breeding program hatched their 1,000th condor chick. So what led to their extinction problem in the first place? As I mentioned earlier, habitat destruction contributed vastly over time. There have also been environmental issues such as lead poisoning or the accumulation of persistent chemicals found in scavenged meat. On top of these things, some parts of condor behavior contributed to the unique challenges facing their restoration and reintroduction to the wild. Condors do not breed in the wild until about 7 years old. They also lay one egg at a time. The incubation of the egg is shared between both sexes, which is significantly longer than most other birds. Assuming the chick hatches, the young become capable of flight about 5 to 6 months after hatching, but may remain dependent on the parents for at least another 6 months. This long period of dependence means that the whole nesting cycle takes more than a year, so after successfully raising one young, the condors must skip one nesting season before trying again. This means an individual needs to live for a long time until they can begin regenerating the population, can only do so slowly, the process takes a long time, and could take so long that they only produce one egg every 2 years. As a result of these reproduction behaviors, condors weren't resilient to the pressures of habitat destruction that humans only became aware of in the last several decades, and as a result, their populations were in steep decline until captive breeding became a thing. Much of the photography shown here is from a few weeks back. While on the way home from a camping trip on the north rim of the Grand Canyon, we stopped at the Navajo Bridge over the Colorado River, which is the one footbridge and one highway bridge. While we soaked in the views from the footbridge, we noticed one lone condor perched at the bottom of the highway bridge. After watching this condor for many minutes, noticing its number, and recognizing that it meant we were staring eye to eye with one of the rarest birds in the United States, another condor soared up and landed next to the first one. Then another. And another. By the end, there were over 12 condors landed on the bridge or soaring overhead. The Arizona-Utah population is somewhere close to 80 individuals, meaning we are looking at close to 15% of the condors in Arizona, all in one place. It was a magical experience and served as the inspiration for this video. I hope you enjoyed learning about these hideous but interesting birds as much as I did. Thank you for watching today's video. If you liked it, please consider giving it a like down below, as it tells YouTube that you appreciate my work and it'll help my channel out a bunch. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe so you can be here for my next video. I'll see y'all there. Take it easy.